know that the date of his wife being murdered was September 10th. So this was just days after his wife was murdered.
Yes.
Boy, they make sure they keep their foot in your neck, huh?
They do.
Good morning, Regina. I located a few new documents about Moses. Can you meet me at the Tuscaloosa County Courthouse this afternoon? Sure, what time? Hi.
You're back.
So, what do we find?
Let's take a look. You can unwrap this book. This is what they call a plea book from the county court. This book has all of the sort of court indictments and rulings from 1868 to 1875. This is the original.
I see.
I marked it for you.
This is amazing. The state of Alabama versus Moses Crosby, alias Moses Hughes. My heart is beating so fast. 19th September, 1868. Be it remembered that heretofore, at the fall term 1868 of the Circuit Court of Tuscaloosa County, the grand jury of said county exhibited a bill of indictment against the defendant, Moses Crosby, alias Moses Hughes, a freedman, unlawfully and with malice aforethought did assault John Hollingsworth with the intent to murder him. So although his military friends got him out, Moses was still charged with attacking Hollingsworth.
Exactly. Remember when the initial event happened.
Well, April 1st is when it was written up about.
Right. And during the time between the spring of 1868 and the fall of 1868, Alabama rejoins the Union. So this is July. When they rejoin the Union, the military quickly after that moment leaves. For people like Moses in Tuscaloosa, there's not a whole lot in terms of a support mechanism from the federal government to protect them.
We know that the date of his wife being murdered was September 10th. So this was just days after his wife was murdered.
Yes.
Boy, they make sure they keep their foot in your neck, huh?
They do. And we also know that he stays. He doesn't leave. He doesn't run.
A lot of things went through my mind after I got the information regarding my grandfather's wife, or first wife, rather. And I wondered, like, as scary as that time was, Moses just seemed like a man of honor. I won't see it any other way. And if so, like, how am I gonna honor? I can't honor her and flee.
And so he doesn't. And because he doesn't,
This is what's happening.
yeah. This right here, what we read before was the indictment. This is the judgment.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty. It is therefore the order and sentence of the court that the said defendant, Moses Hughes, be imprisoned in the penitentiary of the state of Alabama for the term of 2 years. And was it common to get that only 2 years?
Actually, a 2-year judgment or sentence was relatively lenient for attempted murder.
Murder, right.
And I think it's important to talk about who the jury and the judge, who they were. The jury was composed of men, the majority of whom were
White.
white, wealthy, landowning.
Not his peers.
And the judge was actually a Republican, as in the party of Lincoln. And so he may have seen or thought that this was an unfair trial. And for that reason, I believe, gave him a relatively short term. The deck is stacked against Moses. When we think about all of this, the context of who the jurors were and the fact that this sets the perfect scenario for Moses to be handed a judgment of guilty.
I mean, that sounds like a broken record, but not much has changed. So I guess now I'd want to find out about what happened after this. I don't know where I'd get that information.
I think you should take a trip up to Montgomery, to the state archives, and I think that'll give you more information about Moses and perhaps what happens after prison.
Thank you, Erica. This has been amazing.
My pleasure.
Moses' entire story is very similar to stories that we're still hearing today. Well, I will say, to learn that probably was a judge that saw through all of the fake news. It's a reminder that it never has been and isn't now always white versus black. That there were those that questioned just the abuse of a human being.